We are continuing chapter 12 today, talking about surface area of circular solids, and that's going to be our cylinders, cones, and spheres. And for these, we're given specific formulas for our lateral and total surface area. And so we just need to go over a couple quick things. So first off, for a cylinder, our lateral surface area is going to be 2 pi RH, where R is our radius and H is our height. And then our total surface area is going to be the lateral surface area plus 2 pi r squared. So that's our lateral side for a cylinder is, if you think about like a soup can, your bases would be what's at the top and the bottom, and your lateral surface area would be like the label. And so if you think about when you unravel the label of a can or anything like that, it's actually kind of like a rectangle. So that's what that whole lateral side is of our cylinder. It wraps around our two circular bases. And then our total surface area is going to be that plus the area of our two circular bases. So that's where these formulas come from. For a cone, our lateral side is this kind of ice cream cone portion at the top. And our formula for that is pi RL, where again, R is our radius and L is our slant height. And that's this measurement that goes from the point straight down to the circle. And then our total surface area is going to be the lateral plus the area of that circular base at the bottom. And then for a sphere does not have any lateral sides, so it only has a total surface area, and that formula is 4 pi r squared. Okay, and so again, we have two problems, but they're a little more intensive than the ones from our previous sections were. So we are finding the lateral and total surface areas for each of these, and we're going to be leaving our answers for these in terms of pi. So starting with number 1, we have a cone here. So our lateral surface area, that formula is 2 pi RH. I'm sorry, that was for a cylinder. The lateral area for a cone is pi RL. I apologize. So pi times our radius times our slant height. 3 times 8 is 24, and we're leaving it in terms of pi. So 24 pi is our lateral surface area. And our total surface area is going to be that lateral surface area plus the area of our circular base, which is pi r squared. And again, r is 3. So that's 24 pi plus 9 pi. And because these are like terms, they both have pi, I can add them together and get 33 pi. So lateral, total for our cone. Part B, we have a cylinder, and so again, my lateral surface area, there's that formula, I was just so excited to use it the first time around, 2 pi radius times our height, and we're told our radius is 7 and our height is 10, so 2 pi radius height, so 2 times 7 times 10 gives me 140 pi for our lateral surface area. And then our total surface area is going to be that lateral area plus, I've got two circular bases, and their areas are pi r squared, and again, r is 7 for this problem. So I've got 140 pi plus 7 squared gives me 49, times 2 is 98. So my total surface area is 238 pi for our cylinder. For C, we have another cylinder. So my lateral surface area is again going to be 2 pi times my radius times my height. Radius is 4, height is 5. Even though it's on its side, this is still my height. So 4 times 5 times 2, that gives me 40 pi. And then for total surface area, I'm adding the area of my two circular bases, which is pi r squared. So 40 pi plus 4 squared is 16 times 2 is 32. So 72 pi is my total surface area. So again, we had total, we had lateral total and lateral total. And then D, I have another cone. So my lateral area is going to be pi radius times our slant height, which is L. So pi, our radius here is just 1, so that's going to be 3 pi. And then our total surface area is going to be that 3 pi plus the area of my base, which is a circle, so pi r squared. And again, that's just going to be 1 pi. So 3 pi plus pi gives me 4 pi. Lateral, total. So that one's really just plug and chug. This is a lot easier compared to, in my opinion, 12.1 and 12.2, where you really have to think about what's what, finding the area of each of your different sides. And then number 2 is a little on the tricky side, but we're just going to take this one step at a time. And first, let's identify the different shapes we have here. We're looking for the total surface area. So if we look over here, I have half of a sphere. In the middle, I have a cylinder. And on the right side, I have a cone. So what I really just need to do is find the surface area of what's exposed and add them all together. So let's start with the sphere first. So remember, a sphere only has a total surface area, and I have half of it. So I'm going to find half of the area of this sphere. Now, I'm not given the radius of this sphere, but I'm given this entire length right here. So I need to figure out what this length is here, and we're going to have to do this a little sneakily. So I'm given the diameter of my cylinder, which means the radius is half of that. So that means this is 3. That's the radius. And remember, on a sphere, this length would also be the radius. So this is a length of 3 from here to here. And if my diameter is still 6, that means my radius of my cylinder is 3 as well. I'm going to find out what the height of this cone is. So this makes a right triangle, and I can already identify this is going to be a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. So this distance from here to here is 4. Now if my total distance was 17 and I've trimmed off a 3 and a 4, that means I have 10 left in the middle. So I've split up. I've got 3, 10, 4. That's still added up all the way. This whole length across is 17. But I've now been able to identify the radius of my sphere, the radius of my cylinder, and the radius of my cone. Okay? So I need to find half the surface area of this sphere. So half, and then the surface area for a sphere is 4 pi r squared. My radius is 3. Okay? So that's for this portion. Then in the middle, I have a cylinder. But now I have to figure out, am I looking for the total surface area or the lateral surface area? And for this cylinder, the only thing that's on the outside is the lateral edge, that like label of our soup can. So I'm just going to look for the lateral surface area of this cylinder, and that formula is 2 pi radius times height. So 2 pi, my radius is 3, and my height is this distance 10. Okay. And then lastly, I need to find the surface area of the cylinder, and again, only my lateral edge is exposed on the outside. So I'm just going to use the lateral surface area formula for the cone, which is pi radius times slant height. So pi, my radius is 3, and my slant height is 5. Remember, the slant height is on the outside edge. It's not this altitude that we drew in order to be able to figure out the distances along the bottom. So here is my formula for each. We've got half of our sphere, lateral surface area of our cylinder, lateral surface area of our cone. And now I just need to solve this out and add it all up. So 1/2, 3 squared is 9, times 4 gives me 36 pi. 2 times 3 times 10 gives me 60 pi. 15 pi. And so that 1/2, we got 18 plus 60 plus 60 pi plus 15 pi. And so our surface area of this solid is going to be 93 pi. And that wraps up our 12.3 notes.